Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, whatever time zone you're in. This is Dave with the Compass Options Trading Room and the Alert Service. And we're going to be doing a webinar on the Alert Service and the Trading Room and go into some detail about how we've done as far as the results have been, and also how we find these trades. I think it's important for folks who are, especially on an Alert Service, to understand where the trades are coming from that we're having such success with. So we'll be getting into that. If you can see my screen and if you can hear me, please put a yes in the question box. Again, the screen you see should say Compass Dominator Trading Room and Alert Service 62423. And if you can hear me okay, just put a yes. All right. All right, great. All right, so people can hear me, people can see the screen. That's very good. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm gonna just let people sign up. We've got to sign in. There's a lot of people coming in, so I look forward to chatting with everybody in just a few minutes. I think you're gonna find this an extraordinary presentation as far as the success we've had with this alert service and the trading room, and I'm gonna show you that. I'm gonna show you how we do it. So hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of that and become successful, consistently successful traders, making money month after month like we do here. So again, I'll be back in just a few minutes. And good afternoon or good morning, everybody, whatever time zone you're in. This is Dave with the Compass Options Trading Room and Alert Service. We're going to be going over the Alert Service today, as well as the how we've done as far as the trades that we've been taking recently, and how we find those trades. I think it's important for everybody to know that. So another minute or so, with just a lot of people coming in. There's an awful lot of folks signing in right now, so I want to give them an opportunity. But I am cognizant of your time, and I'll try to make the presentation. It's probably be about 45 minutes or so to get to the end of this, and we'll go over the alert service. We'll go over how we find these trades, the software I use to find these trades, and how you can take advantage of that if you want as well. So just give me about another minute while people sign in, and we'll get right back and we'll get right to it. All right, again, it's Dave with the Compass Option Trading Room and Alert Service, and let's get started. We've still got people signing in, but I don't want to hold everybody up, so we'll go ahead and get started with the presentation. And again, I appreciate everybody being here on a Saturday, taking part of your weekend to watch this presentation. I think you're going to find it very worthwhile. So again, this is called the Compass Dominator Trading Room and Alert Service. Compass Dominator are basically two pieces of software that I use to identify the highest probability trade setups that we trade in the trading room and what we send out on the alert service. So everybody will be able to see how we find these trades, so that you can understand where they're coming from, what strategy we're using to, and what methodology we're using to find them. So okay, well, let's move on here. Here's the disclaimer. All signals and trading opportunities provided here, orally, written, or electronically, are for education and demonstration purposes only. Trading is very risky, so you should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. And neither myself or Right Line Trading are licensed financial advisors, so I won't be giving any financial advice. All right, so hopefully everybody can hear me. Let me just make sure that you can see my screen and hear me. Folks that have said they can, just give me a yes if you can see the screen and hear me right now. I don't want to get into the presentation and not be able to hear it. All right, excellent. Thank you very much. All right, so let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is what actually drives the market. How do markets move? How do these rallies start? How do these choppy markets take place? How do trends get developed, and how do they continue or not continue? So that's a very important thing to understand, because that's how we make money in the market. So how we do this is a market consists of tens of thousands and probably millions of small retail traders like myself and like most of people here in the room. And we're the little marbles here. These should probably be much smaller, like pea size, but these are us retail traders. And the thing with retail traders is we cannot move the market. We don't move, we don't create trends. We can't stop trends. We can't move trends. We can't do anything except just trade. And when we're only trading, when just retail traders are trading, you basically get a lot of chop, a lot of chaos in the market. Very, very, very difficult to make any money when retail traders are the ones that are trading a particular stock or index. The big ball back here, the big marble, this is the institutions. And you probably all know about institutions. This is Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Citigroup, HSBC. This would be Vanguard Group, for example, mutual funds, T. Rowe Price, 401ks for pension funds, and individual and big corporations that have their own savings plans, 401ks. These are the folks that have the money, trillions and trillions of dollars, and this is what we want to. These are the people that we want to know when they're in a trade, when they're in a stock, or when they're in an index. We want to be trading when they're trading. We are not going to be able to drive the market. So our job is to find trades that are taking place and being pushed by the institutions. So it's critical to know that information. And most retail traders don't know that information. They don't have the ability to know that. They can guess, but you can't tell. A lot of times they'll say, well, you just look at the volume. That's not enough. You need to have other things. So basically, since the market's going to chop around with retail traders and move in trends when the institutions are in there, we need to know when the institutions are in there and when they're not. So we as retail traders are trading against these other retail traders. We're not trading against institutions. We can't beat them. Our job is to identify when the institutions are in a trade and follow them. And by following them, we're going to be able to take the money from the other retail traders that aren't aware of that situation. All right, so let's move forward here. I want to just kind of the Compass system and the Dominator system. I'm going to go over these two systems, find these high probability trades. But the Dominator system was just introduced last October 1st. So what I did was I had been trading obviously well before then using what's called the Compass system. Compass system identifies institutional trading, and the Dominator system identifies the market internals, how many stocks are going up and how many going down based on ticks. So these are the two systems. So looking at the Compass system from 10/1 to 12/28, and I use 10/1 because that's when the Dominator system came out. So from 10/1 to 12/28, trading the Compass system by itself, I had 129 wins and 12 losses, 90.2% win rate. Very, very high win rate, just trading off the Compass system. Now, when I added the Dominator system to it, and the Compass, we have like a bullish trade on the Compass system, and then the Dominator system, which was the market internals, also showed me that the market was bullish. Win rate went up quite a bit. We from 10/1 to 12/28, we had 113 wins when both of these systems lined up, and 2 losses, 97.4% win rate, which I have to admit is extremely high and very unlikely to be able to continue with that kind of a win rate. I'm able generally to keep about an 85 to 90 to 92% win rate, but that's pretty high, 97.4. But what this shows is if you're patient and you wait for the market internals to line up with the institutions are in the trade and the market internals are also showing a direction, the same direction, your win rate goes up dramatically if you wait for those specific setups. Okay, so this is just, I want to go over the stats, and it's just really to show you what kind of results we're having with the methodology we use, and then we're going to get into the methodology. But I want you to see what this system can produce for wins and win rates based on the finding the highest probability trades using the Compass system for institutional trading. So when we finished April, we had 19 wins in a row. We followed up in May with 10 wins in a row. So we did 29 wins in a row from April, middle of April till the first part of May. And I mean, I'm using a baseline here. If you invested $2,000 in each trade, obviously everybody can invest different amounts in each trade, depending upon your risk tolerance, depending upon your account size. But I use 2,000 just so I have a baseline to go by. So investing $2,000 in each one of those trades produced $11,241 profit for those 29 trades from April 20th to May 5th. A pretty good result. And listen, you're not going to get 29, 30 wins in a row all the time. Obviously, we have losses just like everybody does, but this was a particularly satisfying run for us using this system. And this is the results from the Compass Options trading room, March through June. This would be for the trading room and for the alert service. But in March, in this, I want to emphasize the win rates and the consistency and the profitability. And this is from May through June through this past Friday. March, we had 37 wins, 6 losses, 86% win rate. And again, $2,000 invested in each trade, produced about 8,900, a little over 8,900 in March. In April, we had 35 wins, 5 losses, 87.5% win rate, an actual higher win rate, but our profitability was only 47.40 because due to choppiness in the market, we had to get out earlier. We had some losses of the 5 losses were bigger than the 6 losses here, but that was still almost a $5,000 profit. May, we had 41 wins and 6 losses. May was a pretty good month. Again, an 87.5% win rate. You can see the consistency here, and $7,600 in profit. And June to date, which is up through this past Friday, we have 29 wins and 3 losses, 91% win rate, and $8,400 in profits. This is a pretty nice profitability on this particular run. So for March, April, May, and June to date, it's close to $30,000 for investing $2,000 in each trade. And we're pretty consistent as far as this is concerned. This room has been in existence since January of 2022, which happened to be exactly when the bear market started. But in those 18 months, we've only had 1 losing month, which was this past February. For a small lose, it was about a $1,700 loss in February. That was the only losing month we have. But we do have losses. So there's no 100% guarantee in trading. But I just want to show you the results we've got so you can see what the system produces. And I just put some spreadsheets. These were the 19 winning trades I had in April. I had this already in there, so I just kind of left it in. But this kind of shows you the trades that we had and the percentage wins we had on these trades, and they're fairly consistent. You know, they run from down to 10%, up in this particular case to about 35%. We usually get them 40-50% is fairly normal for us for a high end on these things. So here's, again, I want to go over the trades, and again, I just want to show what the results are, because before I get into the system and how we do these, I want you to see what it's actually producing. And I try to be really transparent with this so you can see. But these were May trades through most of the month of May. Again, we had 35 wins and 5 losses that I talked about. It's 89. I have it 89% here. I think it was actually 87.5, but that's math for you. But you can see the wins here were pretty nice. We had, you know, all over the place here. 17%, 13%, Wayfair 20%, Meta 30%, Uber 31%. A lot of 30% wins, 30 to 35% wins. We had a loss in TXN, a 75% loss. We had a loss in Alta, where we had some news caught us, and we get trapped in that. And say the same thing with Twillo. We get caught in that with a news event. But that happens. I mean, that's part of trading. But again, it still produced a nice win rate in May, and very profitable. And these are the June trades. I've tried to post. I can't put them all on here because there's a little bit too many, but this is kind of a cross section of the trades that we have done in May so far. We had a Planet Hollywood here, like Planet Fitness. We lost 84% on. Again, the stock we took it short. It was tough trading short, anything short this recently because of the market had been so bullish. So that caught us in a big bounce, and we had to take a loss on that. But other than that, pretty consistent wins here. You can see we had this GME. This is called a time spread here. Time spread is what we trade, a particular strategy we take over earnings. We're actually capturing implied volatility crush. But it's one of the methodologies we use in the room. You would get these alerts as well. And if you remember, there's videos on all of these strategies we use, so you can see what a time spread is. Again, we're not predicting the direction of the stock on earnings. We're predicting the implied volatility crush. We don't care which way it goes. We have pretty good luck with these, but that was about 40% came in GameStop. So you can see these. I'm not going to go over everyone. Mara was a nice one this week, 53% on Mara. On 22nd, we had the PNW for 30%. Very quick trade. We were probably only in this trade 2 hours, 3 hours or so. And most of these are intraday trades, although we do have some overnight trades. Time spreads are almost always overnight. But you can see his TSM was a nice one, 50% win here. ABGO, Broadcom, call debit spread. This was a debit spread we use using weekly expiration. So this just kind of gives you an overall view of the trades that we've done in June so far. And again, 29 and 29 and 3. We also did what's called a weekly ATM, and if you saw the webinar, the introduction of the webinar, one of the strategies we use is we call WATM, which is weekly ATM, which is a strategy where we actually sell puts each week against a longer term put that we have way out, anywhere from 2 to 3 months out. So we can just keep selling puts against a bullish stock and just keep collecting premium month after month. We had this Apple weekly ATM on for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and we produced a $290 profit per contract. And 5 contracts was a norm for a $2,000 investment, so about $1,500. So we'll do many more of these if the market remains neutral to bullish. All right, and now these are, I did want to list some of the specific alerted trades that we put out, because folks that are interested in the alert service, here are some of the ones that we've had recently, and I get giving you some detail on them. But BNTX in for 81 cents, out for $1.21 next morning. This was an overnight trade, so $2,000 invested produced a $1,000 profit, 50% profit. And you're going to see the profits are like they were in the sheet that I've already showed you. They vary. We had run. This is a solar stock, entered for 33, out for 43 the next morning. 2,000 produced a $600 profit. So you can see each one of these. There's some small entry prices here. Here's Alta. We get in for 266, out the next day for 366. Produced a $700 profit. Again, 38%. ACN in for $1.05, out the next day for $1.50. So most of these were overnight trades that you could get in and get out, and I'll show you how we alert you to that information. So $2,000 invested in that produced an $855 profit. So I won't go over each one, but this Delta Airlines right here, 45% profit. BABA in for 4, out for 450. That was a 2-hour trade. 13% profit, $250 on 2,000 in 2 hours. And Twilio, again, in for 415, out for 515. So 25%. So I want to just kind of go over these. I wanted to show you some of the recent ones. These are just extremely recent. DoorDash entered for 64, out for 84 the next morning, 31% profit. Again, an overnight, you can see. And here's Square, another overnight for another 30% profit. Gold entered for 380, out for 430 the same day, 13% profit. So the list goes on, and we do have some losers here. Now I didn't put any of the alerted losers. We haven't had very many alerted losers, but the alerts are pretty consistent. But this is a fairly good overview of what we get on these things, anywhere from 15 to 30 to 40%. Here was TSM, entered for 580. We get out at 870. Again, this was overnight. We were in the afternoon, out the next morning for a 50% profit on this thing. So, you know, that's produced a very nice profit. And the reason this 50% profit doesn't show $1,000 profit here is I round these things down. So if at getting in for 580, I divide 580 into 2,000. So to come up with how many contracts you would get for the 580. So, you know, you're not gonna have an exactly $2,000 investment. This would have come in a little bit lower. I try to be conservative on these numbers. And here, Microsoft, we get in for 1050, out for 1250 the same day. We did this just recently, and $2,000 invested produced a $400 profit. All right, so that's kind of the results. I just kind of wanted you to see what results we get using this particular methodology, the Compass system and the Dominator system, and how finding the highest probability trade setups and following the institutions, what good success we have with that. So what about this the Compass Options Alert Service? All right, what is this for? Well, I have a room. I have a day trading room that I'm in every day from about 9:15 until about excuse me, get a coffee. Take a quick drink of water. I have a day trading room that we're in every day from about 9:15 till about 4. It's a little after 4. Where we call out trades, we talk about trades, we answer questions on members on trades that they're interested in, and we go over the different strategies we use. But the Compass Options Alert Service is obviously designed for day trades and short-term swing trades. It's designed for traders who can't watch the market all day, who don't want to watch the market all day. They just want to be alerted to the trades that are high probability trades that we're taking, and they know what those trades are based on, because I'm going to show you what we use to find those particular trades. What you're going to do is you're going to get real-time alerts on the highest probability trade setups. They're going to come right to your phone. They're SMS alerts that come to your phone, and you're going to be seeing the alerts for the highest probability trades. And we do that by identifying the institutional involvement. I'm going to show you the Compass system and how we find that. It's going to be by identifying institutional involvement and market internals. Are the market internals also aligned with the institutions? And some specific technical analysis, obviously support resistance levels, things like that, to find these best trades. So once we get them down to where we have 4 or 5 really good trades, then we delve into it even deeper to find even the most highest probability trade. So that's what the alert service is. That's who it's for, and that's what it does. So this is what you're going to see. The trades are going to be alerted by SMS message. You're on the alert service. Your cell phone is listed. When I send an alert out, it's going to go to everybody who's signed up for the service. It'll go to your phone. And basically what we say in the room and on the alert service is we want to trade the best and skip the rest. And what that means is we're only going to look for and trade the highest probability trade setups. So we have to be very patient. We're not just taking trades to take trades. One of the things I say in the room, every day is that as traders, our objective is not to make trades. Our objective is to make money, and we make money by making trades, but only by making specific trades. So every alert you're going to get will include obviously the stock symbol. It's going to include the option strike price, the option expiration date, and the price to pay for the option. And that may be a range. That may say, you know, from $1 to $1.05 or something like that. But that's what it's going to show you. So you know if it's Microsoft, the strike price $135 call, expiration date, you know, July 14th, and how much to pay for the option. Pay $1.75 to $1.80. That's the information you're going to get. Pretty specific. And you know, you can enter this trade on any particular platform that you use to trade on. And the exit price is going to be alerted. And when I give you an exit price, I always recommend that you use good till canceled, because a lot of these trades are going to be active overnight, and you want that exit to be working when the market opens the next day. That's especially true on time spreads. When we do time spreads over earnings, it's very important that the good till canceled in there, because a lot of times you get filled, you know, 9:30 in 12 seconds. So the exit price will be alerted as good till canceled. Now the exit price, take profit price, may come on the original order, but generally not. Generally what I do is I put out the alert to get into the trade, and then we'll analyze how the trade's going, and then we'll set a price target, a profit target, and then that will come in and alert right after that. You know, it could be you know, 10 minutes later, or it could be, you know, could be a day later. We may be holding this thing overnight for a short-term swing, and you may not get alerted to the profit target price until the next day. But that you will get an alert as to what the exit's going to be, and if we have to make a modification to that, you'll get an alert for that. You're going to get alerts anytime we change the method on the stock, what price we want to get out at. It'll just be adjusted, and you keep getting those. So the question I got that I always get asked is how do we achieve these stunning results? And these are pretty stunning results. I mean, maintaining 85 to 90, 92% win rate is not easy. There's not very many services that will do this give you this kind of rate, win rate and profitability. But it's because we're so specifically focused on only institutional trades. Only when the institutions are in there are we in there. That makes such a huge difference that most people don't understand. But the hardest thing is most people don't have the ability or the tools to be able to identify these trades. And that's what we do here. So we're able to identify when the institutions are driving a trade and when the market internals are heavily bullish or bearish. Those two, the compass system, the dominator system. So we only take trades when both of these are in our favor. And that's not 100% true. A lot of times the dominator system, which is showing you what the market internals are, how many stocks are moving up on up volume and upticks versus stocks moving down on down volume and downticks, the disparity between stocks moving up and stocks moving down will be small. So the dominator system would be neutral. In those particular cases, we're going to focus on the compass system. But generally, we're looking for trades when both of these are in our favor. If the compass system is in our favor and the market internals are neutral, we'll still go with the compass system and take trades based on that. So this allows us to align our trades with the institutions and the market. So it's important. We're trading with the market and we're trading with the institutions. If you think about that, when the market is bullish and it's trending up for the day, and you're going to be long the market, and then you're just going get in long the stocks that the institutions are buying, not the other stocks, that you've got this huge advantage over the other retail traders. This is a really extremely important concept to be able to understand it, how we can have this kind of a win rate. It's just really, we have the tools to do it that the other retail traders do not have. And again, we trade the best and skip the rest. And this is important. Skip the rest. Trades that you don't take because then they're not aligning, the institutions aren't in there. This is very important. This saves you a lot of money by staying out of trades that the institutions aren't in. They may look good to you technically on a 5-minute chart. They may look great. But if the institutions aren't actually driving that, then we skip it. And a lot of those would turn into losses if you actually took those trades. So here's the two systems, and again, I'm going to show charts. I'm going to show trades that we took. And I'm going to show both the Compass system and the Dominator system and charts on how those line up. But basically, you've got two systems here, the Compass system and the Dominator system. And these are the systems that we're getting our alerts from. Again, if you're just on the alert service and you just want the trades, you don't really need to care about this, but I think it's important to understand that where we're getting the trades that you're getting alerts for. So the Compass system identifies stocks that are being moved by institutional buying or selling. We just talked about that. It also identifies stocks that do not have institutional buying or selling moving them, so that we can avoid those stocks. This is really important. Again, we're only going to trade with the institutions. The Dominator system displays market internals and produces buy or sell signals when the difference in the number of stocks moving up on up volume and upticks is much larger than the stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks. So it's comparing stocks moving up on up volume and upticks versus the stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks. And it does that across the 5 major indexes. And that way we know when there's a disparity of stocks moving up. If you've got 600 stocks moving up and 100 moving down, you know you've got a very bullish sentiment on the market internals. You piggyback that on top of the Compass system telling us that the institutions are in Microsoft, for example, then that becomes a really high probability trade. All right, so how do we identify when the institutions are creating a trend? So this is really what the Compass system does, and this is what makes this unique, because the Compass system identifies when institutions are creating a trend by what's called a triple screen assessment. And triple screen assessment is just a fancy way of saying looking across multiple time frames for different indicators. So the 4 indicators that we're looking for on triple screens, we're looking across multiple time frames on momentum. This is really important. Is the momentum bullish on the 5-minute, for example, on the 15 and the 45? Is looking across 3 different time frames. If its momentum is going up or bullish on all 3 of those time frames, very likely the institutions are driving this trend, because they're all aligned on the 3 different time frames. We look at trend the same exact way across the triple screen, looking at 3 different time frames. Is the trend bullish? So momentum is bullish across 3 time frames. Trend is bullish across 3 time frames. How about the money flow? Is the money flow bullish across 3 time frames? So they're all bullish across 3 time frames. As you add more indicators like this, and they're all aligned, the chances of this not being an institution driving this gets to be extremely small. And the last thing we have is what's called a quant. Now the quant is, it looks at related instruments. For example, if you're looking at Microsoft and you're looking on your chart, the quant line is going to tell you what the other stocks that normally trade with Microsoft 70% of the time or more. If Microsoft is bullish, it looks at all the other stocks that normally trade with Microsoft bullishly. Are those bullish as well at the same time? So you add that in here, and now you've got 4 indicators across 3 different time frames that are all showing the same results. You've got institutions driving this. It's probably 99% institutions that are moving this particular stock in the whatever direction it happens to be going. So this is how we find this with the Compass system, and this is where our stock picks and our alerts are coming from. The Dominator market internal software, just so you understand this, it looks at the market internals for 5 indexes. It's looking across the Dow, the New York Stock Exchange, triple Qs, the SPY, the S&P 500, and the Russell 2000. So it's looking across all 5 of these indexes, and it's analyzing in each one of them the number of stocks moving up on up volume and upticks versus the number of stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks. When there's a large disparity, for example, 500 moving up versus 100 moving down, the software will create a signal. In that case, it would create a buy signal. And if it's like 250 moving up, 250 moving down, it's neutral. There's not going to be any buy or sell signal. That's what it's looking for. And the actual disparity is not going to be done individually by index by index. It's looking at the overall all of these indexes. Because if you're just looking at the Dow, for example, 30 stocks, if the Dow is showing a disparity of stocks going down out of the 30, maybe it's trading 20 down and 10 up. but the Russell is trading, 1,500 up and 500 down. The Russell is going to override the Dow by a lot. So the disparity is going to be looking across all of those indexes. And as I mentioned, we can use this in conjunction with the Compass system to identify even higher probability trade setups. So if we've got market internals that are bullish and a Compass system telling us that the institutions are in driving a trade, then that we're going to take the trade. That's a really high probability trade, as long as we've got enough upside potential to justify the trade. So that's how we're finding these trades. We're using the Compass and the Dominator system. So I want anybody who's interested in the alert service to be able to know when you get an alert and you see the stock coming, for this is the pick we're taking. If you go and look at your charts, you're going to be able to tell that why we're picking this. It's not just a pick out of the air. There's reasons for this, and I think most people would like to know that they want to understand the strategy that they're investing in as far as the stock trades they're taking. All right, so I'm gonna go through some charts here now. And these charts are examples of high probability trade setups. We're going to be taking a look at the Compass system and the Dominator system with individual stocks, and I want to show you what they look like on these charts. And again, you don't need to have this to be on the alert service, but a lot of people who look at this decide they'd like to be able to have the same information that I've got using the Compass and Dominator systems, so that they can also improve their trading themselves. If you're just going to trade, just be based on alerts and don't care, that's fine. But I do want you to see where these are coming from. All right, so this is an example of the SPY, and this is the Compass system, which runs on Thinkorswim. This is my screenshot of my toss with the SPY, and this was a 5-minute chart. You can see here. Now, the Compass system that I was telling you about, we talked about momentum. This is the current time frame momentum, and this is one of the more critical ones. This is the 5-minute current time frame momentum, and this is the multi-time frame momentum. And you can see here that as the SPY bottomed out and started to turn up again, you see how this went from red to blue to green, right? So this was red and yellow is bearish, blue and green is bullish. So anytime you've got a blue or green, you've got bullish trading going on. Now, in this particular case, you notice that the SPY has been dropping all day long. Not normally a case where I would take a SPY long for the day because notice the multi-time frame has been red all day. But if I was in a trade short, and this is the trade we actually took here, if you look at the Compass system, you've got red current time frame momentum and red or yellow multi-time frame momentum. The quants, this is the quant line. This is red, so this is bearish, and this is the bias line, or the money flow line. This is also red. So the SPY was obviously bearish. Now, a couple of things on here I want you to see. Again, these are our indicators: momentum, current time frame, multi-time frame, quants. On the chart itself, obviously these are the candlesticks. This little thin red line here is the 15 EMA of an EMA. It's an exponential moving average. It's smooth, and it becomes a support or resistance level. The pink line here is a VWAP, or the volume weighted average price. Very critical that you trade stocks short when they're below the VWAP and long when they're above the VWAP. You don't want to counter trend trade them. So in this particular case, as the stock is riding along this 15, we get this signal that the Compass system prints, and this is called the pop out of the box signal. This is telling you that compression is being broken to the downside. And you notice we've got red across the board. So this is an entry for a short here on the SPY. This is where you would take the SPY short with puts, for example. And we ride it down, and again, everything stays red, and we get some additional pop out of the box symbols here. But as soon as we start to get flattening out, we start to get green candles, and we start to get it flattening out, and then a pop out of the box signal to the upside, we take profits right here. So this is where we would ride this trade down. But I just wanted to give you an overview of the Compass system and the information that's in here, because it's really crunching a huge amount of information to come up with this information in here. All right, so this is the Dominator system. I want you to be familiar with the Dominator system. This is the market internals software. This runs on Ninja 8. So the Compass system runs on TOS. The Compass and the Dominator system runs on Ninja, at least the ones that I'm using. Compass system will, Dominator system will only run on Ninja 8. Compass system can run on interactive brokers. It can run on Ninja. It can run on Thinkorswim. I use it on Thinkorswim. So here's the market internals on the Dominator. Now there's a couple of things here that important to know. The background color tells you what the multi-time frame trend is for the instrument you're looking at, and we're looking at the SPY. So the multi-time frame trend on the SPY here was pink. That's bearish. We had a bearish setup on the SPY system, on the SPY, on the Dominator system. Now these red arrows here, these are sell signals. So when we're getting sell signals like this, we know that there's a big disparity, a lot more stocks moving down than moving up. And you can see that these are the indexes down here. This is the volume and tick, volume and tick, volume and tick across all 5 of those indexes, mostly all red, sell signals all the way. So again, perfect entry right here, coming off the 15. And you can just ride this down with the sell signals until you start to get like green candles, but you could have ridden this all the way down. And that's a pretty nice run. And what you'll be doing is, what I'm doing is when I'm picking stocks, I'm looking at the Compass system and the Dominator system. When I see the Dominator system is telling me I've got a short setup here on the SPY, and the Compass system tells me I've also got a short setup on the SPY. Those correspond. That is a trade. Excuse me. And that I have what's called the SPY super system, which if you remember, you can actually get the video on how that's done, and it's specifically set up to use the Compass system and the Dominator system in combination in exactly a situation like this. We've got the internals bearish, so you can basically trade off the Dominator system, and the Compass system is also bearish with a breaking off of some sort of a support resistance level, such as the 15 EMA. That is a SPY super system setup right there, and that's, if you were trading the SPY super system, that is what you would trade. And here is the follow through on the Dominator system. So that's the Dominator on Ninja. This is the Compass system on TOS. And you can see the information that we've got on both of these are pretty spectacular. This is giving us institutional buying and selling. And you can see the institutions started coming in here on the 5-minute, but not on the 15. So when you don't have, not on the other 3. So when the current time frame turns blue and then green, but the multi-time frame is still red, you don't really have institutional involvement here. But for somebody who likes to scalp, for example, if you like to scalp using the Compass system, when you go from a red to a blue on momentum, that means that your momentum is switched from bearish to bullish, and you can take a quick scalping type trade. Basically, I don't do a lot of scalping, but one of the nice setups is when it goes from red to blue or red to green. Then you can go ahead and get in right there, and then just ride it until you come against a resistance level. And that's exactly what that do. That's more for short-term traders. I'm not going to be alerting on anything like that because it's much too quick. But inside the room, we do mention these, and we do call these out inside the room. But that's a really nice setup, red to blue, and you can see you get your pop out of the box signal. I mean, really a beautiful setup on that. Okay, here's the SPY. So here's Netflix, and again, I want to go over some charts. And this is really just to acquaint you with how I use the Compass system and some of the trades we've taken and why. Why do we take these trades? And the systems makes it really easy when you can look at the colors, because it's really easy to see here that we've got a bearish setup. So once I get a pop out of the box signal and I go from blue, which is bullish, to yellow, which is bearish, I know that I can take this trade short now because I'm getting it's set up short. The Compass system has gone short, and whether the Dominator system is bearish or just neutral, either one of those cases, I can take this trade. So that was where we took this trade right here. We just wrote it down. Everything stayed red, and we stayed in it. We stayed in it because you get a couple of bounces, but notice the Compass system is telling you it doesn't make any difference. The institutions are selling. They're still selling here. You need to be staying short. So we stayed short, and we stayed short. Technically, you start to get these little tiny candles like this, after a downturn like that, momentum is waiting, and it's likely that the Compass was going to switch to yellow here pretty soon. quickly we took the profits, right there, 20% profit. But that's, you can see how easy it is to see taking that trade. Okay, so here's another spot trade on the Dominator system. This is some trades directly got the Dominator for a major leader. I think I was muted for a minute. Hopefully I wasn't muted very long. Yeah, the audio was acting up. Thanks, it was. It's okay now? Just for a minute? All right, thanks. All right, so again, I wanted to again show you this. You didn't see this. This was a Netflix trade that we took. And it was based on the compass system going from blue to yellow. This is bearish. And this was the VWAP right here, the volume weighted average price. We got a pop out of the box signal, which tells us maybe we want to take a look at a short here. We go from blue to yellow, perfect time to get short here, which we did. And we rode this thing down and it stayed red. You can see it staying red on the multi-time frame and the current time frame momentum. Ride it all the way down. And this is where we get out when the candlestick started to get small. Tiny, tiny candlesticks, momentum waning. All right, so this is another one here. This is on SPY. And again, 5-minute chart. But I want to show you this is a Dominator system. And some people actually trade directly off the Dominator system. This case here, you notice that the background is black. That's a neutral. And it goes to pink. That's multi-time frame bearish. So as soon as you get a pink change here, you know you got a bearish setup. And you've got sell signals. Now you could have entered right here on this first sell signal. But you notice there was a little bit of green down here, so some of the indexes were still bullish. But as soon as we get this red here, and everything was red, this was where we entered the SPY trade here, short right here. And we write it down. Stays. See the sell signals stay on the stock all the way down. It stays red, and this is where we get out right here. We just we started to get these small little candlesticks. We get out of the trade. All right, I'm just taking another sip of water here. All right, so again, I'm just showing these charts, and it may seem redundant, but I just want you to be able to get a feel for how we find these trades that we're alerting on. So this was Tesla. This was again a nice short setup in Tesla. You can see the mixed colors here. We're getting a lot of mixture in here. We're getting a lot of green and then back to blue and yellow. Right? No momentum here that's consistent. And same thing with up here. So there's no institutional selling going on right here. And you can see that what the stock's doing, it's just pushing sideways. It's just compressing across here. Now here, we get a break below this 15 EMA. This 15 EMA is that little line right there. We're below the VWAP. We get a break below that 15 EMA. Here's where we get in right here on that pop out of the box signal. Notice we get a pop out of the box signal. Notice that we went from blue to yellow. This was yellow, this was red, this was yellow. So this is all bearish. We get in here and we ride Netflix down. And notice it stayed yellow or red the whole rest of the way. And this is the end of the day. This is at 4 o'clock right here. We ended the trade right here for the next morning. But that is a nice trade right there on Netflix. And the compass system is basically screaming that this is a sell. And we got a 30% profit on that, and that's a small little move like that. But again, the whole idea here is to get you acquainted what the compass system looks like, how I'm finding these trades, so you know when you get a trade alerted to you, what it's based on. This was a Tesla overnight trade. Now again, we can use the compass system for day trade, for daily charts as well, to get swing type trades. So what we looked at was on Tesla. This was the end of the day right here at 3:45. You notice we below the VWAP, you see the multiple red candles coming into the close, pop out of the box signal on the 5-minute chart. So we took it short overnight, and this is what happened the next day right here. The market gap, the Tesla gap down, went from 120 to 112, and the puts exploded. I mean, we were in the trade from 120, and the puts went up probably about $7.50, $8, and then we just rode this down. And this is where we get out right here. It stayed, notice it stayed red, except for this one blue blip right here. It stayed red the whole way, and we stayed in it all the way to here, and then we get out right there. And I thought, it was prudent to take profits. We had a price keep hitting the something that's setting this my speaker off. Okay, so let's move on here to this is Zillow, and again, I'm just going to show you these charts so you can see the what I'm seeing, what we're seeing in real time. Here's Zillow, pop out of the box signal, right? Everything red. Obviously, the institutions are selling here. Our job is to once we know they're selling, is to find the best entry, and this is where we entered right here, and right, you can see that right there. This one, this pop out of the box signal. It kind of flattened out for a little bit here, and then but Compass System is telling us institutions are selling, so we take it and we write it down, and it was really flat and very, very flat, even though there was selling going on. So we took profits right here. It was a nice profit, not a huge trade, but a decent trade. But I just kind of want to show you what we're looking for. Okay, so this is a daily chart on Oxy. Now this is the Compass System on the daily chart on Oxy. Now there's a couple things to notice here. Obviously you can see Oxy's bullish. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Oxy was bullish here. Look at all the blue and green. This shaded area right here is what's called the dynamic compression zone in the daily. So the stock was compressing in this dynamic compression zone for quite a while. And then it had a big pop here. So once we get this big pop, this is where we took it intraday as a long. And this is the day we traded it on that big candle. What we were looking for, we was looking for an entry point. We knew it was bullish. We looked at the 5-minute chart and we were getting a little bit of fluctuations. But right here, when the stock had a pop out of the box signal coming off of this 15 EMA, the little green line here, and popped up, this tells us we're getting a compression break. We've gone bullish. Let's take the long, because we knew the daily chart was very strong. And so we took this long and we rode this up, and we rode it up pretty nicely. And you can see we could stay in this thing until we got a little bit red right here. And we got out right here. We could have stayed in it, but we did take profits right here. All right, so this is a chart I like to show. This is Tesla. This is another particular setup that I use. These candles are not standard candlesticks. These are Heikin-Ashi candles, and we use Heikin-Ashi candles to look for trends, continuation of trends, and also reversals. Heikin-Ashi candles, if you're not familiar with them, I use 2 candles to create the one candle, and a bullish trend in Heikin-Ashi candles is identified by flat bottoms. See the flat bottoms on the candlesticks? No wicks, no tails. I mean, there are wicks, but no tails. There should not be any tails. That's the nice move in Tesla. And the way we find them in the room is we look for a stock that has wicks and tails, and then it goes to a flat bottom. That tells us we've got a Heikin-Ashi reversal, and that gives us confirmation of the reversal. And so we rode this one up, and this was really a really nice trade. And you can see how smooth that is to see on the Heikin-Ashi setup. And in the room, I actually have a video on Heikin-Ashi setups, how you read them and how you trade them. But this was another one, and you can see it's not hard. The Compass System is screaming at us that this is a buy. So our whole job is to find the right entry to go long the stock. It was buy back here, but we're waiting for the proper entry to get the highest probability trade setups out of this trade. Okay, so this is again another SPY trade, and I'm just reiterating what we see here, so you can kind of be familiar with it. Again, this is a SPY bearish. You can see that it's bearish. We have a little blue here, went to yellow and red. Pop out of the box signal, coming down below the VWAP. See the VWAP right there, the pink line? One of the key elements you can use for support resistance. It breaks down there, and we rode this down. And you can see that it's all red, and then you can see the stock's compressing, and then you notice we went to blue here on the current time frame. Time to get out. So we ride this down here, and we get that, and it's really flat. Even when you start getting flat candles like this, we're thinking about getting out of the trade because momentum is waning. This is a daily chart on Meta. Pop out of the box signal, but this is a dynamic compression zone. See the dynamic compression zone? See the drop? This was when you could just take that. We actually did take this overnight and wrote it down. You see how it went from blue to yellow here on this candle and moves down. And we stayed in it. I think we only stayed in it 2 days, but we could have stayed in a little bit longer probably. But you know, hindsight's 20/20 and those things, but this was a nice trade. Compass system is screaming at us that this is a sell. Crowd, another one. And again, you can keep seeing these over and over again, but I want you to see how easy it is by identifying these colors, whether it's a bullish or bearish setup. Notice here on the on this daily chart on crowd, dynamic compression zone, right? So it's the shaded area. Then here's your breakout of that dynamic compression zone. See what happened on the compass system? Went from yellow, from green to yellow on the current time frame. Meanwhile, the multi-time frame was still screaming at you that it was a sell. So we knew it was a sell coming into this. We're just trying to find the proper entry, and there it is right there. And this was a beautiful crowd trade to the downside. And again, it went yellow, it stayed red all the way through, and we get out before all the way down here. But you can see it started switching back to blue again. So institutions are coming back in again. Okay, IBM. This was a daily trade in IBM. Here's a dynamic compression zone right in here. And is it easy to see it's bullish? Sure it is. You can see it was mixed in here, but notice we went to blue here and then green here. We green across the board, across the quants, the multi-time frame, the bias here, or the money flow, and it just pops up and it's very, very bullish. So we know that we want to be long IBM. We just got to find the right spot. This is one I want to show. This will show QSR on the daily, the 5-minute on the compass, and the 5-minute on the Dominator, so you can see what we had for a setup. So here is the setup on the QSR. So it went from green, it was mostly bullish here, but it was compressing. Went to yellow, then we went to blue right here on this nice little pop. So we know we got a bullish daily. So one of the things I focus on is I want my daily chart to line up with my 5-minute chart. If I'm trading a stock long on an intraday trade, I want the daily chart to be bullish. So this is a bullish setup. So now when I think to trade QSR, if it looks like a good trade intraday, I know I've got a bullish daily setup to back this up. All right, so here is the QSR on the 5-minute. So we were looking across here. We were looking for an entry. The stock is moving right along on the 15 EMA right here. We got a pop out of the box signal right here, which we could have bought right here. But this went yellow again because we had a couple of doji candles. But you could get in right here and just stay in, or you could just wait till it went green and then get in right here. But here's a pop out of the box signal. It was really strong, coming right off the 15, and this is where we took it, and this is where we wrote it up. You see, that's about 11:30 in the morning. So here's the run in QSR. So then, we're going to be here. You notice we want to get out. Go back to yellow. Time to get out. We took the profits up here. And I'm going to show you the QSR on the Dominator. All right, here's QSR on the Dominator. Now, we know on the compass system that it showed bullish on the daily chart. It was very, very bullish on the daily chart. Let's go back and see right here. Very bullish. Okay. Bullish on the 5-minute. So here's the Dominator. Now, this is a 5-minute chart on the Dominator. So we're looking at the colors, and we look at the background colors on QSR, and it's dark green, very bullish. It's also set up bullish. So where do we want to do the entry? Well, we're looking at the mixed here. We don't have any buy signals on this yet, but we also don't have any sell signals on this yet. We've got some mixed indexes, but that's okay because with the compass system, we know it's looking very nicely. So this is where we actually get in. You see this remember the compression right here on the compass system? Back here. All right. So here's 11:30 right here. This is where we get in, right off of this compression. And we're kind of front running a little bit because we don't have a buy signal yet because the market internals aren't in our favor, but the compass system is very much in our favor. So we take this long right here. Now, if you were more conservative, you could have waited till you get the buy signal here, but we get in right here. And you notice that we just rode this thing up. Now, an interesting thing you notice here is you see these red candles. This is retail traders trying to pick the top. Right now, we know in the compass system that never went at this point. It never went to anything but bullish. So we know that the institutions were still in here buying, even though the retail traders were trying to pick the top. And what happened to them? They get run over. Here comes the institutions running them right back up again. And then it kind of chops around up here, but it stays bullish the whole way. And then at the end of the day right here, you can see this is where we ended. So this is, you know, you can take profits anywhere along here. When you get this kind of choppy action, you can take profits. You don't have to try to stay in there for every nickel. All right, this is another one. This is a SPY. And again, notice the background is black, neutral. That's a multi-time frame trend of neutral. Then we go to pink and then dark pink, multi-time frame trend of bearish. So here's our sell signal starting to pop up here. We're getting enough market internals that there's a lot of stocks, a lot more stocks moving down than moving up. You could buy it right here, or you could buy it right here. But I would have bought it right here as it broke through the 15 EMA and write it down. And again, it's a pretty short term trade, but you could have rode this for 4 or 5 candles on the SPY. And if the compass system lined up, this becomes a super system. And it becomes a super system entry. So that would have been a nice quick trade here. Again, on the SPY, it's more like it's kind of a scalping situation. You're typically only going to stay in for 3 or 4 or 5 candles. Again, it's another one here on the SPY, very bullish. I just want you to see the background colors on the Dominator. Look at how bullish this is. All right, everything goes green here. See the buy signal right here. Now the background is either bluish or light green. This is somewhat bullish, but not overly bullish. It goes to dark green. It's very bullish. So if you're a fairly not a risk averse trader, you could have got in right here and wrote it up. Or if you're more of a risk averse trader, as soon as you go to a dark green background, you could buy right here and then ride it up. And again, I want to point out, these are retail traders in here with these candles trying to pick the top. They're trying to pick the top. The Dominator is telling us that the market internals are very bullish. Compass system was telling us the institutions were buying. The retail traders try to come in here and pick the top, and then they get run over again. And this happens all the time. And this is the people we're trading against. These people who don't understand or don't know or don't have the tools to be able to identify institutions in the trade and market internals. They can't do that. All right, so here's another one. And again, same thing again. We're looking at very similar stuff. Here's Netflix. Here's a big green candle on Netflix. Very unlikely you would catch that. It would have happened too quickly. But as it compressed here, as soon as it breaks out of compression, this would be a good entry right here. And then you just stay in it as long as it stays buy signals on it, which you did for the rest of the day pretty much. And again, another SPY. And you know, I just want you to see how this work. Again, here we go from somewhat bearish to very bearish. Here's your sell signals all the way down. Had sell signals even when the time frame was neutral, the black background, but everything were in red. So if you're fairly aggressive, you could have taken it in right here, or if you're being a little bit more conservative, you would take it right here as it breaks below this 15 EMA and write it down. And SPY, again, we're getting close to the end here. Again, this is a SPY. I mean, when you look at this, can you tell that it's bullish? Of course you can. And this is not rocket science to be able to see this. The compass system is doing all the work for us. It's telling us that the institutions are buying the SPY all the way through here. They're not driving it up in a dramatic fashion, but they're driving it up. So you want to be on the right side of it. You are. And again, the SPY here. Again, dark green background, beautiful entry here. Right here is your first buy signal, right at the 15, perfect entry. Just write it up. And when you get this was at the end of the day. This is at 4 o'clock right here. So you'll be out here. You're not going to be holding the SPY overnight, not normally. All right, so that kind of wraps up the presentation as far as the compass and Dominator systems. So you see what those systems are. It also went over what the alert service was. So you'd be getting alerted to these particular trades and how you'd be alerted. What we're offering here is a summer special. Now the alert service itself is $9.97 a year on this special that we've got today, or $297 a quarter. That's going to include the SMS alerts that you get by text. You can be you also, if you're one of the first 10 today, you get into the trading room, my trading room, for a month for free. After the first month, it's pay as you go. It's a subscription, but the first month you can try it out for a month, but you'll still be getting alerts. And you're going to get the masterclass series. I have about about 15 or 20 videos on the Compass system, how to find highest probability trade setups, how to use the SPY super system, weekly ATMs, what those are, time spreads, how we trade those, how we trade put credit spreads. So lots and lots of training in that masterclass series. And you can learn the secret ingredients by winning trades. When I'm in the room, when I'm looking at a trade or somebody's suggesting a trade to me, I'm going to look at the charts. I pop up the charts and I show what I'm looking at, or if they like a trade, I'll look at it and tell them why I agree that it's a good trade or why I disagree it's a good trade. And I'll look at the compass and I'll look at some additional technicals, and we try to do education like that. So again, that's the Compass Alert Service, $9.97 a year, $2.97 a quarter. And you saw the results we've got. Obviously, that doesn't take a lot of trades to pay for this particular service. Now, if you're interested in the software, the Compass system itself is really, you can see how powerful it is. It's just $9.97 on the special a year. When I first came across the Compass system, I mean, I was just amazed at how it appeared to work. So then I tried it out for 3 months, and it actually increased my percentage win rate, and I had a pretty good percentage win rate. It increased it pretty dramatically. So that's actually how I got involved with Brightline. And this is $9.97 once a year for this Compass system, and you're going to get the market scanner, which I can show you. It's the market scanner comes with the system on TOS. You're going to get the live trading room access for 1 month. You'll get the text alerts as well, and you get the masterclass series. So if you buy the software, you're getting a lot here. You get the room for a month and the alerts for a month, and then you have to pay for them. But that gives you a nice running start, and you'll have the Compass system for the whole year to use for trading. And if you want both the Compass and the Dominator system, $14.97 annually gets you both the Compass and the Dominator, and the market scanner, and the live trading room for a month with your text alerts and the masterclass series. So those are your options. You can, if you're just interested in the alert service, this is where you would be, $9.97 a year or $2.97 a quarter. If you like the Compass system, this is what you would get, the Compass system. Brightline, Sergio at Brightline is the tech down there, and he'll take over your machine and install it on your computer, so you don't have to deal with any concerns about technical installation or technical problems. They take care of all that for you. And the same thing goes with the Dominator system. If you want the Compass and the Dominator, they'll put them both on your Compass on TOS, and the Dominator will go on your Ninja platform, and you'll have both of those. So those are the offers, and I'm going to just see if we get any questions here and answer your questions. Again, I appreciate everybody's time today, and I hope you gained some good information out of this. So let's take a look at some questions. Okay, how many days do a typical trade last for? You know, it depends. Sometimes I might put a trade out in the morning, 10 o'clock, and close it before the end of the day. We do that a lot. Most of them are going to be closed usually 2 to 3 days, sometimes a week, sometimes 2 weeks. I'll take a swing trade for 2 weeks. It really depends on the market and the stock and how the stock's performing. In other words, how much money do you need to have in your account for these trades? Well, a lot of it, I know some people are, if you're a day trader and you're trading, every day, then typically you got to have more than $25,000 in an account to do day trades. Otherwise, you're limited to 3 intraday trades every 5 days. But a lot of the trades that we do here, many of them are overnight, so you're not going to be impacted by that. And the time spread trades that we do over earnings are all overnight. So again, you got to get a lot of trades that are not going to impact you as a what's called a pattern day trader, a PDT trader. So how much money you do need the accounts for the trades? But listen, money is what you're going to have in your account balance is really dependent on your risk, etc. I personally wouldn't try to trade with less than $5,000 in the account. It's just too it's too much chance of ruin. So I would say typically 5,000. But that, it's again, it depends on how much risk. If you're only taking $100 or $200 risk, that's a lot of trades. Yeah, any questions on, Rory will be happy to answer any questions. If you're the least bit interested, by the way, if you're interested in some information, please put your name and phone number or your Skype username in the chat box, and that'll lock you in for the special. And also Rory will give you a follow-up. One time he's going to call and answer your questions. He's not going to bug you. After that, he's too busy, and he'll let you know. So, and his number, if you're interested, by the way, is 786-732-4656. Am I guided by unusual option activity? Listen, I have a news feed. I have Trade Exchange running all day long on a laptop, so I'm always getting the news feed, and I know about unusual option activities. And in certain times, I'll take unusual option activity trades if I feel like the unusual option activity has some staying power in it, but not an awful lot. I mean, most unusual option activity is not very, very effective. But occasionally, if you're familiar with what the unusual option activity is and what's happening news-wise around the stock, sometimes they work. So I take them into consideration. I mean, I have a news feed going all day, so I know about all of them. William, you joined late. What's the Dominator? The Dominator system, let me just run back here. The Dominator system is, well, I want to go all the way back to the beginning. The Dominator system is measures market internals. It runs on Ninja 8, and it has a feed coming in from Kinetic that basically shows us the number of stocks moving up on up volume and up ticks versus the number of stocks moving down on down volume and down ticks, and puts in buy or sell signals when there's a large disparity between the stocks moving up and the stocks moving down. So we get buy signals when we know the market internals are either very bullish or very bearish. So it tells us what's going on within the market, and then we use that in conjunction with the compass system to focus in on the stocks that the institutions are buying or selling. Again, any questions on, Rory? If you have any questions, just give Rory a call. He's the guy that can make decisions on, how you're going to pay and any questions you've got on the service. Can the text alerts be sent to international numbers? I think they are. I mean, I've got people in Australia and Europe that get these. Technically I can't tell you they do, but I'm pretty sure they do. Peter, on Compass, wouldn't volume alone suggest institutional activity? No, not necessarily. You see, when you're looking at volume, if for example you get, let's say you get a big hedge fund that comes in and wants to buy Tesla, just one hedge fund, but not, it's not coordinated, or it's not occurring at the same time that other institutions are doing it, or there's some big retail traders that are trading big volumes, but just for a 5-minute thing, 5-minute candle. Would the volume alone suggest institutional activity? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. If you're looking at momentum and you're looking at trend and you're looking at money flow, remember, if the institutions are in there buying, they don't have to be buying big. You can have momentum that's moving up or bullish across multiple time frames, and it's being done by institutions, but they're not in there with huge volumes. A lot of times you'll get volume candles that look pretty average, but you find out that it's coming in across multiple time frames. That's how you find institutional trading. Alan, you're interested in Dominator and NT8? Yeah, it runs in NT8. Again, talk to Rory about it. They'll if you're interested in it, you can get it, and you don't even have to own Ninja. Ninja is free. You can have Ninja put in there, and they'll put the Dominator on your PC for you. how many alerts per month on average? You know, it's hard to say. You know, the alerts I put out are based on the number of trades the good trades I find. I'm only looking for high probability trades. I would say on average, we probably have, I don't know, this week we probably had about 4 or 5. So, you know, I would say a reasonable number is probably 15 to 20 a month. It may not, some months it's not going to be that high. Some months it's going to be less. Choppy markets, much more difficult to find alerts. Very difficult to put on an alert the day before the Fed, before an FOMC meeting, because you got to pretty much be out of that trade before the Fed announces. So typically, I'm not going to alert anything that's going to overlap that. But I would say, you know, 15 to 20 a month generally. Let me go back. I just want to. I'm going to drop these slides for just a minute. Again, there's your deals. $14.97 annually for Compass and Dominator. Get the scanner for free for a year. Trading room for a month. Compass system, same thing. $9.97. Here's the alert service. $9.97 a quarter. $2.97 a quarter for the alert service. Again, that gets you into my live trading room for a month. But I just want to drop these for a second. And I'm going to show you. This is one of the trades we're in. This is Meta. This is a daily chart on the Compass system right here. This is where the scanner resides during the day. But here's the Compass system on Meta, and you can see the daily chart. We went long back here, and you see how this went from yellow, from yellow to blue, and then we popped out of the box right here. This is where we've been long Meta right from here, as it popped up, and we're getting a nice move in that. Excuse me. So this shows you what this is actually my Compass system. This is, if you get the Compass system, this is what it's going to look like, but this is where my alerts are coming from. All right, so let me just see if we've got any other questions. I just wanted to show you some of those. All right, I think I've reached, I think so. And, by the way, we have a Discord room where we have professional traders in there. On the Discord room, Dr. No Savvy Trader, and they post all the trades that we take in the room or talk about in the room. They also post charts of high probability trades that they see, so you're getting a lot more education there, as well as the ones that I do in the room. But you have access to the Discord room as well. It's a really nice add-on. And again, just if you have any questions, call Rory at 786-732-4656. I'll put your name and number in the chat box here, the question box, and he'll get back to you on it, or your Skype username. Any of those things will work. All right, so I hope this was educational for everybody. Again, trading with the institutions is what makes the difference. It's what makes some retail traders who have that information basically profitable traders in every single month, just about. That's how you become a consistently profitable trader, by trading with the institutions. It's just knowing how to do that is the difficult thing. So I look forward to seeing a bunch of folks in the trading room and on the alert service pretty soon. And everybody have a great weekend. I'll be back in the room on Monday morning. Have a great weekend.